time, they capitalized on a couple of interceptions and a ruling from the officials on what would have been a fumble, and score 3 times in the second half to rout Miami 31-6. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, and Dan Dierdorf saying good night from Miami, with a reminder that Saturday ABC's college football features a big doubleheader.
Saying, oh, it might be good from 5 yards more, but I think it's applicable when you're talking about a 52-yard kick. Watch the distance. This clears the crossbar. I mean, that football is a good 10 or 15 feet above the crossbar. When it goes over on a 52-yard kick, significant what kind of a leg Kofor has.
You hit that in Denver, it's good from 63.
You might have injured the horse.
You made that in Boulder. Second time he's run a punt back for a touchdown this season. The other was a gem as well, 77 yards.
The 49ers will say tremendous individual effort. The Redskins will blame missed tackles. There's one right there. Clarence Vaughn misses. There's another miss, I believe, by Orr. But give John Taylor credit. Disorganized in the beginning. 95 yards.
He has almost broken a couple of others, and that'll be a new
thing into the kicker from the bottom. Pollard right there just makes contact, and you just cannot run into the kicker. I mean, and that's really inexcusable because
But, you know, the funny thing is, tilt, right? You know, we looked at the schedule before the season started. This figured to be the glamour match
for the ball. That's an unnerving feeling for a football player without that helmet strapped on. Wilbur's in the hunt anyway.
He's still working on that helmet out of the field now.
But it's going to come right off as soon as he gets up.
Oh, you need that.
Darryl Green gets right into the legs of Joe Montana on this run.
An old 49er play. You give your quarterback who is mobile the option to either run or pass. Green came in, gave him everything he could, but he had to stay back with his man until Montana committed. No quarterback runs it better.
Kick was good. There's Marshall again involved in it.
With his chin strap buckled up.
No flags this time. Extra point good. Joe Gibbs was saying last week, it seems in every game the special teams have made a play that have really created a problem for us. No exception here, and this is the result at the end of the 49er drive. They lead by 16. show goes on.
Hope he doesn't make a mistake, take a bite out of the wrong item.
Talent surfaces in many different ways, doesn't it?
It'll curl the hairs in his nose.
Yeah, this guy'd be fun to have over at Thanksgiving, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Come on, go for it.
I had a waiter like that last week at a restaurant.
In your restaurant.
I fired him. Wow. I'd like to bob for apples with this guy. Look.
Washington has taken another timeout. They
do it again? Yeah. And how do you think Darryl Green feels? Darryl Green with Jerry Rice gets a hand on the football. Instead of getting a pat on the back for a job well done, ends up being the GOAT.
He's been playing hurt like Wilburn has with the bad knee also, and this time right off his fingertips, what even could have been an interception. And in the records, it's going to go down as a Montana touchdown pass.
I mean, look how well played it is by Darryl Green. Just a bad break. I'll tell you one thing. I'll take both those guys on my football team. I'll go to war with either Darryl Green or Jerry Rice.
They'll probably both be in Honolulu.
Jamie Morris from Michigan. Jim Fonhorst gets blocked right into the play by Terry Orr, and whoa.
Montana, there is numbers for the year, over 2,000 yards after the performance to this point tonight. 13 touchdown passes. He's run for one as well.
Coordinates with the referee when we go to commercial, when we're gone, when we come back.
And also one of the great people you could ever know.
Yep.
We love him.
And we have Kingdome in Seattle. The winner of this game will be tied for first place in the AFC.
You know, one of the back at the ball. Is there contact? Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. How can you call that interference?
Well, there is a misinterpretation. I'm official right on top of it. Now, again, Jenkins goes up with both hands, not playing the ball at all. You put both of those hands up there, you just can't do it.
Oh, I disagree, Frank. I think that's a tough call, boy. That's a tough call.
2nd and 10 from the 13. Burline comes back the other way, intended for the tight end. And
Woods coming from the left, and he just strips the ball. No way can you rule that he was in the grass.
They took a timeout, and I'm wondering if they didn't do it so they would give the officials upstairs more time to look at this play.
Boy, Jerry Markwright is finding himself and his crew in the middle of some real close ones, and boy, they just showed it again on the board here. That's a fumble all the way. Tony Woods strips the ball from Steve Burline. There's a, you can't see it any better than this.
Reverse angle is working pretty well tonight, isn't it?
I mean, that's
not even close.
The ball's out, the ball's free, and that's Jacob Green who takes a stab at it. Jeff Bryant's working on it.
And if they get an overrule here, I think you can credit the timeout. Raiders were lined up, and of course, once you have the next play, you can't go back and review a play. And the Seahawks may have taken that timeout to give the guys upstairs the extra time to review it.
They have their own cameras here that feed the Diamond Vision. That, of course, would not be linked up.
But I tell you what we're back to, guys. I tell you what we're back to. We're back to that whistle blowing. And if they say that the whistle blew, if the official on the field blew the whistle, that ended the play. And regardless of what happened after that, it's a moot point.
They're obviously checking it out.
Crowd is chanting Seahawks ball.
And they could overrun Jerry Markwright's position.
Now Markwright's going to get on I think a phone line here upstairs.
They're having problems with their communication.
There's a guy dialing. Do you see the guy's dialing the number?
Hey, folks, let's look and see if we can see an official blowing his whistle.
How can you see an official blowing
Well,
his whistle?
because he'd be waving his hands. You know the way they wave their hands to stop a clock.
What a scramble. Going to ultimately be
Can't see it there.
57, Tony Woods, who comes up with the football.
Yeah, you know what I mean, Frank. I
Sure,
mean, you can see
absolutely.
official waving his hands. The same, it's a simultaneous motion. As he's blowing on the whistle, he's signaling the timekeeper that he's blowing the whistle.
Mark Bright got room service on the first dial.
Meanwhile, Seattle, they had tried to call a timeout. Mark Bright then told Knox, we understand, he didn't need one. They were going to review it anyway. So Seattle has not been charged.
Fellas, here's the problem. Watch the right side of your screen. All right, the ball's out. Jerry Markbright right there is stopping play.
But it was after the ball was loose.
I know, but if he's blowing the whistle,
they're going to reverse it.
Well, the crowd thinks they are because the Seahawk offense is coming out, but Mark Bright's still on the phone.
well, I was always led to believe that when the whistle blows, it doesn't matter what happened afterwards. That's sure the way that rule was explained to all of us. I mean, very much. Oh, we can hear Mark Bright talk. Listen.
Where was the ball when I blew the whistle?
I don't think he knows his switch is open.
They may be checking where the ball is now. If indeed it's going to be Seattle ball, he could be checking the spot.
Of course, they're looking on the replay to see where the fumble recovery was made. They'll tell Mark Bright, he'll go out and mark it.
Well, we could hear Jerry Markbright say, where was the ball when I blew the whistle? It was explained to us last year that when that inadvertent whistle blows, it really negates everything that happens after that.
Let's go defense.
No.
Now they're changing again.
Yeah.
The defense is coming out.
The whistle wins.
Whistle always wins. You're right.
And they have charged Seattle with a timeout.
After further review, the play stands. 4th down.
Oh,
Folks, I know it's a rule that doesn't make any sense, but when the referee is blowing his whistle, you have to understand that some players hear that whistle and don't continue to chase that loose ball. And if they are going to rule that he's in the grass, that's a bogus rule.
And that's what they have ruled, grasp and control.
it's a good way to get out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So now we've got a 46-yard field goal attempt after the sack. Barr made a 46-yarder earlier. And this one is just good. Just inside the upright. And so the Raiders
Right now is looking for a trapdoor. He's looking for some place to go hide, and what a play by Tim Brown.
You talk about Mr. Clutch, and he runs it. The only way you can be a top kickoff return man is full blown. When you see a gap, you kick it into the best gear you got. And Tim Brown puts on the speed. Jenkins is in pursuit. He finally catches up with him, but not until they get inside the 5-yard line.
Bo Jackson looking for the end zone. Flags all over the place. Nine seconds showing on the clock.
I think we might get holding against the Raiders.
That's the call.
It might be Andy Parker, the tight end, too.
It must have been obvious. Flags were all over the field.
And you saw Mark Wright point right at him.
Number 87, offense. 1st down.
The other tight end,
Trey Junkin. Now the Raiders have a very interesting choice. Not a field goal attempt. They still have 9 seconds, and they have timeouts left.
You know, I think it's probably Steve Berline, who has had the jitters over the past few weeks.
Now they're going to. Now Berline starts to come onto the field. They take a timeout to decide what they want to do. They do have time to run a play here.
Well, they clearly have time to throw a pass into the end zone.
And they have all 3 timeouts, so they can use one.
A youngster like Berline, they're going to go ahead and kick it.
31-yard field goal attempt. Johnson holds. Barr's kick is no good.
Tim Brown ought to meet Barr.
So Brown's kickoff return means zilch.
Just cosmetic.
Norm Johnson could kiss Barr.
And Norm Johnson, you're off the hook.
Tim Brown obviously disappointed. Great effort. NFL's leader in kickoff returns, and more than that, he can do anything you ask him to do on a football field. Didn't mean a whole lot, but it's worth looking at again.
Here comes Timmy Brown, and again, this is instinct. This is nothing but instinct. Steve Smith with a block that sprung him. And you know what? Who really gets some credit here? How about number 29, the guy coming in, Dwayne Harper, who ends up saving a touchdown, and the Raiders don't get any points out of it. Give Dwayne Harper a great deal of credit. His hustle kept the Raiders off the scoreboard.
Jenkins slowed him just enough, and Harper cut him down on the angle. And Barr misses the field goal attempt.
He, of course, is on the injured reserve. You have to make up for a loss of a man who usually gets 75 or 80 receptions, and they're doing it. Tim Brown over the middle. They're using Marcus Allen out of the backfield.
Gossett, good deep kick, fielded at the 17-yard line by Bobby Joe Edmonds, and tackled. Lofton and Mosbar and Harper among those involved in the middle of it.
I think it was Lofton and Harper that were the initial combatants.
Lofton coming in just a little late on Dwayne Harper.
Watch the upper left. There's James Lofton. He's going to make his move on Harper, but now keep following it. Keep rolling this tape, and you'll see.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 80, offense.
They're going to hit each other again, even after that.
Penalty from the dead ball spot. It'll be second down.
When have you last seen an unnecessary roughness called against a wide receiver?
Not known to be overly aggressive and attack-oriented. There's one shot. There's another shot.
It probably has been going on all night.
Well, normally what you see are offsetting penalties because if the officials miss the initial contact, then they see the two guys each reaching for the other receiver.
This is Terry Taylor. They have a few words.
That's Melvin Jenkins, I believe, 24. Boy, are they at each other's throat. That was a good job that time. If you exclude the interception, he's right back where he left off.
Fellows again, the victim. Didn't get his bump. Tried to sprint with Blades. He's got pretty good speed. He's not a blazing speedster. They tried to get the help from Eddie Anderson on the inside, but Craig didn't lay that up at all. He rifled this ball.
You get the impression by looking at it there that this ball was thrown just about as far as David Craig can launch it, and look at that tight spiral. Again, I go back to the line of scrimmage. I don't understand why Ron Fellows isn't attempting to get a little more of a bump on his.
Former Redskin, key interception for the Raiders.
Not a well-thrown ball by Craig. You don't need me to tell you that with the interception, but he has an open receiver. Butler is actually going to break open, but Craig throws the ball too deep into the end zone. He makes Butler have to go way back to get it. And it comes off the back of Butler's helmet. You can see there the ball actually hit Butler's helmet and ricochets to Lionel Washington. Oh, talk about a gift there.
And talk about reaction on the part of Washington.
On first down from the 20, Burline throwing for Gould, and he can't make the catch at the 36-yard line.
Not a poorly thrown ball.
And on television and whatnot. And this is $1 million receiving core if ever there was one. But I've got to say this, that Galt and Lofton and Fernandez have had a lot of dropped balls this year. They have. What a poor pass from Steve Burline.
Well, Bernardine certainly was open, and Burline certainly hit him. He just had the wrong color jersey on him.
I mean, that's.
And Marcus Allen did save it.
Actually, it looked like Dean overran the ball.
Anderson rides him out at the 35-yard line. Mike Wilson's block paved it.
I guess. What a huge opening. Brian Millard is going to pull and trap all the way across the formation. Take a look at number 71, the right guard, and number 75.
What does that look like, Dan?
Wilson's going to turn upfield. Millard kicks to the outside, and of course, that's the old counter gap.
Everyone's got it.
Counter step by Warner, and
is there no shame?
Well, it's really a relatively old play. left tackle and give Kurt Warner credit. He took the time to set up his blocker. Here's Mattis, the left tackle. He's going to drop back and then come out and make the kick. Watch Kurt Warner stutter, 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 and then cut up in behind Mattis.
Boy, as an offensive lineman, Dan, you can appreciate that on the part of the running back. There it is.
There's the hesitation. Mattis gets the block on Eddie Anderson, and Kurt Warner, with that hesitation, ducks in behind him. And that, you're right, Frank. That's experience.
He took out a whole suburb of Seattle.
Norm Johnson's extra point is the difference right now, 28-27.
Mattis goes about 300 pounds, and he wiped out.
And a young coach.
Well, first of all, he got lucky not being sacked in the end zone. He held the ball in the end zone an extremely long time. Watch how long he gets away with holding it in the end zone. He's lucky he wasn't hit from behind. And then, I don't know what he was trying to do. Maybe he was trying to get it to Marcus Allen and threw it over his head. Kids make mistakes, and Steve Berline is a kid. And I guess you can say that he was trying to get it to Marcus Allen and it took off on him, but
that's being kind.
That's a major error.
Being checked out.
Angle, let's look at it from the other side. This ought to offer us some sort of a vantage point here to see. Well, the ball comes out. The Seattle folks here are booing. They think Kurt Warner was down.
Good shot by Fellows, who has been in trouble all night long at the cornerback. He was the one that jarred it loose.
A part of Kurt Warner's body has to be touching the field before he's down. On that replay, it looked like a good call by the official. They took a look at it in instant replay, and they agreed with the officials that he's not down. It is indeed a fumble, and first down, Los Angeles.
And a lot of credit to Fellows.
And it's still Berline.
End zone. Just look at it. I mean, this is as simple as it comes. Straight away blocking up the middle. And take a look at the trap coming in. Steve Smith with the lead block, and wow. Boy, you don't expect a guy to break that clean down on your own way. Look at it. No one's in jeopardy here. We'll see if Parker does come up with this ball, or does he trap it? Ooh, he traps it all the way. Whoa! Oh, that is a trap. Sorry, Andy, you're going to be back to one catch.
And he doubled his and unsuccessful all night.
There's Ream. Watch him do a little stutter. There it is right there. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Jeff Bryant comes across and finishes it off, but that's 5 yards worth of move down. But Vernon Dean he's the fellow that gave Berline the shot he's not going to forget right away. And Frank, dangerous running around in your own end zone.
It is. Wyman, a bit of a medical marvel.
Set up quickly for the punt. They get it away off the foot of Gossett. Edmonds at the 46. Back to the 35-yard line. Cost him. And there it is. Warner at 123, Williams 101. First time in the history of the Seahawks, and they came into the league in '76. First catch of the night.
And it appears that they'll be 8 points down when the Raiders get the ball.
Another Seattle Seahawk who has come off the injured reserve, out most of the season with a hamstring, and was it Chuck Knox who told us which?
Again, we're looking at a perfect pass being needed by Dave Craig, and you be the judge. Look at this throw.
Oh, a lot of pushing, and a lot of grabbing.
Washington on the inside, Anderson on the outside, and the guy in the middle, Lewis Clark, finds the ball coming right to him. Another perfect throw by David Craig.
NFL catch. Second-year man out of Mississippi State as Tim Brown is back to receive Johnson's kick.
I don't know why they're kicking to this guy. I really don't.
And this time they cover it at the 18-yard line. And Rufus Porter, who has been a wild man on special teams, rookie out of Southern, comes flying down. We've got him isolated.
This is how you make a football team if you're a rookie free agent, and that's what Rufus Porter is. The only way you stay around is covering kicks, being crazy, running with abandon, and then putting the hat on somebody.
And Freddie Young, who made the Seattle Seahawks team a few years ago, doing just this, turned into an all-pro linebacker, and of course is now cavorting around with it.
See him wince when he signaled in. I get the feeling he'd be in there if he wasn't hurt.
They have to get to the 47-yard line. And Schrader throws. It's deep enough for a first down. Catch made by Brown, who breaks a tackle and out of bounds at the 40. Tim Brown running a route, and as he made the catch.
Not a bad delivery. Schrader forced out of the pocket. Let's watch Brown. He's on the inside, drives it upfield, gets to yardage, turns back. Not bad defensive play. Could have even been pass interference.
Yeah, Hollis really
right there
makes some contact, and Tim Brown opts to go for the sideline.
Time left in this game, 2:27.
I don't think you're even going to see Harper in the picture here. Now, folks, that's a loose cushion. When the receiver catches the ball and you have to wait a couple of seconds for the corner even to come into
14-yard line by Hollis, his second of the game, and you can write a finish to this one.
And that's a late hit. There go the flags. That's stupid. That's frustrating, and that's James Lofton.
Oh, he's been an action man all night. Somebody must have upset him early in this game.
That'll be 15 yards against the Raiders, but Hollis brilliantly anticipating the throw, steps in front.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Late hit out of bounds. Number 80. Raiders, first down, Seattle.
Lofton, if you saw, was the intended receiver. Coach Hollis stepped right in front for the interception.
How far out of bounds was David Hollis? I mean, the play was clearly over when Lofton comes in and hits him.
This describes it as Shanahan is a guy who likes to teach what he calls scheme football. As, let's say, the way Dean Smith teaches basketball at North Carolina, scheme basketball, as opposed to the old Raider style of including that last one to the appropriately named Lewis Clark. Can you think of a better name for a guy playing for a Northwest team?
Yeah, now can
Joey Chabot.
Guys did a great job tonight.
Ben Harvey, our associate director.
There goes Billy.
Billy's gone.
Well, the game's truly over when Billy Edwards walks out.
Orange Sleeves is leaving. And
oh, this certainly beats land development and looking at classic cars, even if it costs you $85 million.
when you win, it does. So 60,000 go home happy from the Kingdome in Seattle.
Class act right there.
You got it.
Seahawks win it. Final score 35-27. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, and Dan Dierdorf saying good night from Seattle. Seahawks win it by 8. And a reminder that Saturday, ABC's.